Hey everyone, and welcome to the world of Kubernetes. So before even we do a deep dive on Kubernetes, it is very much important for us to understand why that technology was created. Because we already had Docker for containerization, then why we should learn this technology? Now see, in software industry, every tool is created to resolve one problem, and Kubernetes was created to resolve a very big problem into the software deployment. Now in this video, we are going to understand why Docker was not able to support us, right? What were the problem with Docker? What were the issues that the companies were facing, and why Kubernetes was needed, right? And don't worry, I am going to keep it very much simpler so that you can even understand. Even someone who is learning Kubernetes for the very first time, this video will make sense for you. So let's get started by understanding why the technology Kubernetes was created. So it is rightly said, in order to understand Kubernetes, the very first thing that you should understand is Docker. So here we are going to discuss how did Docker came as a revolution into software development journey, what problems did Docker solve, and then we are going to understand what was the demerit of Docker and why we should consider Kubernetes. So before Docker, application deployment was very difficult. It was very messy because developers used to say that it works on my machine. And let's say when an application was moved from one server to another, suddenly there used to be many issues, many things that used to break the application, and it can be due to many reasons. It can be due to different software version, it can be due to different operating system, or it can be due to different dependencies that are actually missing, and this created huge problems. And that's the reason Docker came into the picture. And what Docker did, Docker allowed the developers to package everything into a single container. And that's the reason the application was not crashing whenever they are moved to another server, because here we were dealing with images and container, everything clubbed into a single place. Now imagine ordering food online from Zomato, and you don't have to worry about the food because everything is carried by the container. And that's what Docker was doing over here. Docker was packing the application, the libraries, the configuration, and the dependencies, everything into one container. And because of this, deployment became faster, application became portable, and resource usage became better than the virtual machine, because here we were only using the resources that were actually required. And due to that reason, Docker was extremely popular into software development. Now, since Docker solved these many problems, there were few demerits, and here we are going to discuss top 5 issues the development team was facing during the deployment with Docker. Let's discuss problem number 1. So now Docker was amazing, but up to a certain scale. Now let's say you are running 2 containers or maybe 5 containers. Managing them manually is easy. But let's say companies like Netflix, Amazon, or Uber, they run thousands of containers. Now suddenly the question appears, and what can be those questions? It's just like which server should run which container, how many copies of the application should run, and what happens during high traffic, and how do we monitor everything. Imagine managing 500 containers manually. It is almost impossible. It's just like trying to control the traffic in an entire city without the traffic lights. So everything became chaotic. Problem number 2, manual container management. So without Kubernetes, engineers have to do everything manually. Start the container, they have to stop the container, they have to restart the container manually, they have to deploy the updates manually, and they have to scale the container manually. Imagine the situation where the website suddenly gets huge traffic during a sale. Now the engineer need to manually create the containers quickly, and if they react slow, the application will crash. Now this will create obviously the human errors, the application deployment cycle will get slow, and there will be operational stress. Now let's discuss problem number 3, that is load balancing. Now let's talk about traffic distribution. Suppose application has 5 running containers, thousands of the users are opening your website. Now how do you distribute the traffic equally into the container? What if one container gets overloaded and another container stays idle, and one container crashes completely? Without proper orchestration of this traffic, managing the container was very much difficult. Now imagine 5 billing counters in a mall, and all the customers go into one counter. That counter will become very overloaded while other will stay empty. The same thing happened with the container. This can make the application slow, unstable, and sometimes they become completely unavailable because of the stress that we are giving. Let's go to problem number 4, and that is nothing but container crashing. Sometimes container failed anytime, and that can be due to multiple reasons. It can be due to application bug, it can be due to memory issues, it can be due to network problem, or it can be due to server failures. Now here's the problem: Docker alone does not automatically heal the application. If a container crashes, someone has to manually restart it. Now imagine a situation where it is happening at 3 a.m. in the night in the production. The website is slow, the customers are getting angry, and the engineers, the DevOps engineers are getting continuous fault. This is why modern system needed something called self-healing, meaning something even after failing, it should heal the system automatically. It should fix the system automatically by itself. Problem number 5. Now things become even more difficult when application run across multiple server. Imagine a company running 10 server, 500 containers, and multiple application. Now the challenge for the engineers is to they have to manage which container runs where, CPU and memory usage, communication between those containers, server health, and networking. So very quickly the infrastructure becomes very much complicated, and it's just like managing an entire city manually. And at this point company realized that we need automation, and that's the reason company started looking for a better solution. So they needed a platform. So what they actually searching for, companies actually started to look for a solution that that can help them in the cloud platform, such as automatically scaling of the application. Whenever a container is filled, it should restart the container, it should distribute the traffic properly, it should manage the server automatically, and it should keep the application highly available. Basically they wanted a system that could intelligently manage the containers automatically, and this gave birth to Kubernetes. And Kubernetes was originally created by Google based on their experience of running massive application internally. So now that we understand why there is a need for Kubernetes, let's first discuss before we conclude what actually Kubernetes is. So a very simple definition: Kubernetes is nothing but it is an orchestration platform. Now orchestration simply means managing everything automatically the very smart way. Now Kubernetes came into the picture. It was taking care of multiple things. It take care of the deployment of the container, scaling of the container. Whenever a container fail, it is to restart the container, load balancing, networking, and managing containers across the server. So think of Docker as creating the containers, and think of Kubernetes as managing those containers as massive scale. That's the biggest difference. Now let us take the final summary. So Docker solved the problem of containerization. It made the application portable and easy to use. But when the application started to growing at massive scale, companies faced new issues, new problem, such as scaling, manual management, load balancing, container crashing, and multi-server complexity. And Kubernetes was created to solve all these problems. In simpler words, if I want to say, if I want to conclude it, Docker creates container, Kubernetes manages them automatically at scale. And that is why Kubernetes became one of the most important technologies in modern DevOps and cloud computing. So that was all. I hope you understood why there is a need and why we should consider this technology called Kubernetes. So yeah, that was all, and I will see you in the next one.